Hello, hello, welcome. Jasmine's on today. Hi, Jasmine. Great to see you. Hi, Deb, Laura, Shauna, Deborah, Katie, Gina. Good to see everyone. We're back for day three. This is day three of bold moves. Here we go. We're on the downhill slide. I cannot wait to hear about your bold moves yesterday. So excited to hear how all of that went. I've already had a couple messages from people sharing their experiences with me, but I can't wait to hear from everyone. So good to see you guys. We are doing this thing. Bold moves, day three. So if you are catching the replay, welcome. Please do post in the Facebook group as well. Let me know that you joined in and that you were here. I love seeing who's catching the replay. And for those of you who are on live, go ahead and share. Oh, what do I want you to tell me in the chat to kick us off? Dun, dun, dun. Share a favorite song. What's one of your favorite songs in the chat? Tell me that today. Well, we're giving everybody a minute. What are you listening to on repeat? I have a song like stuck in my head today. It's called High Road. It's a country song. Who sings it? Do you know, Amanda? I don't know. That's like an earworm. You know what I mean? Like that song's been in my head all day, driving me crazy. I like the song though. Ah. 4x4 by You. Oh, yeah, like that Head and Heart. Pour Some Sugar. Def Leppard is in your head right now, Jasmine. So fun. Good Day by Forrest Frank. Fun. Yeah, it's so funny how that is, right? Like you hear something, or do you guys ever wake up with a song in your head? That has happened to me. Somebody told me that's like your angels will give you a song sometimes, so pay attention to the lyrics. I'm like, that's kind of cool. But I've had that happen where I just like wake up with this random song in my head. I'm like, what? Where is this coming from? What is this? Okay, so good to be with you all. I'm going to go ahead and bring the music down, and we are going to kick this day off. Lots of good stuff for us to get into today. It's going to be so good. Okay. So, first off, let's just start. So, yesterday we played with the full spectrum of possibilities, right? We looked at the best case scenario and what it feels like to take a swing when we're connected to the best case scenario and like being in that courageous energy. And then we also took on the technique work of making bold moves and letting it be okay if we struck out, right? We played for no's and like it's okay if I actually kind of strike out, but I swing anyway, and that's the celebration. So tell me in the chat, what was the bold move that you made yesterday? Oh, sorry about your migraine, Laura. That's tough. I totally get that. What was the bold move that you made yesterday? What action did you take? Tell me that in the chat, please. Or if somebody wants to hop off mute and share, I would love to hear. Feel free to just hop off mute and tell me your experience.
This is
Bold move
Deborah.
is
I just took care of myself yesterday because I was off camera because I wasn't feeling well. And I
yeah.
still wanted to be here. So, I was talking about wealth, but health as well. That's the first thing. So I took care of myself. And I'm doing
Excellent.
that again today. So, and I feel very good about that.
Well,
I'm putting myself first.
that's fantastic. Yes, let's celebrate that. That is great. Putting ourselves first, taking care of ourselves, it's the core of everything, right? Yeah, so good. Thank you. Laura made a decision to not work through a migraine. Yes, good. Self-care is a bold move, right? I mean, especially like I hear you, Laura, because I have to do that with myself as well. And it's can be so programmed in us to just keep going, keep pushing, keep moving, and that's not in our best interest. I'm really glad Kayla gave herself the space this week to rest and heal and not push through, right? Because that's not what we stand for here. What other bold moves did you guys take? I'd love to have somebody else, some few more people if you want, hop off mute and share. What was your bold move?
I know it's a question of who, not how, although I recognize that connecting with who is the challenge for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Paige. Great. Who else wants to share? Amanda, can you share? I know you and I chatted on message. You had some yeses in your no game, but do you want to share?
Yeah, I can share a little bit. I after kind of talking yesterday too in live time of being able to um call and just on some of those proposals, I gave a call, left some voicemails, but called at least and wait to hear back. And then also what I did tell you online and can share with everyone else, I played the 50 no game, but didn't get one no, instead got like five yeses. So I said to Lisa, I'm never really like scared to ask, but sometimes you just need a little push to be like, why are you not clicking send on the email that are drafted? And I sent and got some yeses. So those are some wins.
I love that. That is so fun, right? It's like, here I
Right.
am playing for no's and I'm getting yeses, and either way, I'm winning. So good.
Right.
So fun. Thank you. Awesome. Go ahead and tell me if you were on yesterday and if you took a bold move that you haven't shared yet. Go ahead and tell me in the chat, 'cause I want you to celebrate yourself, you guys. It doesn't matter what it was, right? So my second question for you is, what did you learn about yourself yesterday? So maybe you didn't. Maybe you were like, okay, I'm going to take this bold move, and then you didn't do it, right? Let's just notice that too, because remember, we don't have any judgment here. Nobody's here judging you. And my request is that please don't judge yourself, because that's not what we're here to do. We don't actually grow and we don't actually change if we're in judgment. It stops all the growth. So, what did you learn about yourself yesterday? If you did take the action, if you didn't take the action, just notice and tell me what was something that you learned. That's the whole point, right? Is we're here to learn about ourselves. We're here to have a better understanding of ourselves. And that's the name of the game, right? Sometimes we realize, like, Amanda was even sharing, it's like I wasn't really afraid, but I wasn't hitting send, right? And so we can just it can be something even subconscious that we're not even aware of that's blocking us, or we can just be really busy and our focus and attention is elsewhere, and we realize that, like, oh wait, this is a priority. I can just take a few minutes and ask for what I want to receive. So let
I
me know.
think the biggest thing that keeps coming up for me is I have to remember that if you don't take time to rest, your body will choose to do it for you on a day that might not be convenient.
Thank you, Laura. I feel that. Yeah, yeah. If you don't take time to rest, your body will do it for you on a day that's inconvenient, right? Our body is like, I got you. I'm your ally. I'm taking it all in. But eventually it's going to be like, okay, nope, like we got to rest. And so we can trust its wisdom, but actually we could just partner with it instead, right? Yeah, thank you. Amen to that. Yeah, I agree. Shauna, you messaged your chicken list people yesterday. Awesome. I love that. So good, you guys. Okay. So, as we've been learning, bold moves truly is all about taking courageous action, right? That's what it's all about, is like getting into our courage. So the reason that courage is required is because the big swings in that we're taking involve risk. And I want you to notice, what have you been risking, right? When you do take your bold moves, what have you been risking? You've likely been risking failure. You've been risking rejection or hearing no. Maybe you've been risking being misunderstood, being seen, sharing your truth, being judged, right? Maybe you're risking change. Sometimes this is a big one. It's like, well, I know that if I follow through and if I do all these things and I'm successful, that is going to change my life, and that is scary, right? Sometimes we don't realize that's happening underneath the surface. So the reason that we need courage is because there is fear involved. The dictionary definition of courage, I love this, is mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. That's the game we're up to, right? That's why it requires courage. Okay, so it's like when we take action with courage, we're shaking, but we're doing it anyway. And so we're not waiting until we're no longer afraid. It's doing the thing scared. It's being willing, like, okay, I'm scared and I'm still doing it, right? So, what we want to do is get really good at inviting fear to come along for the ride. We cannot wait for fear to go away because we talked about this, I think, on day one. All of you are here to play a big game. You've all got big goals. You're here to make a big difference. And so, fear is going to be a part of the process, right? Might as well invite it in. Sit down at the breakfast table with it and just, get to know fear. It's kind of like, remember the monster under the bed analogy where it's like, you were so scared of this monster under the bed, but then once you turn the light on and you look, you're like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. It's totally fine. Fear is kind of like that. So we're inviting it along for the ride, but we're going to put it in the passenger seat. You're still the driver. Fear can come along, but it's not driving the bus. So I want to get a little bit more into talking about what's happening when our bodies go into fear, simply because I want you guys to have some tools. I want you to be aware of when fear is in the driver's seat. And then I also want you to have tools in your tool belt where you can decide to take courageous action anyway. So to our primitive brain, when we feel fear, we trigger what we started talking about yesterday is that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. So the fight or flight response is a physiological reaction that occurs in response to a perceived threat, attack, or a threat to our survival. Okay, I think we all probably know this, right? And when we get into what we'll call fight or flight, it prepares your body to either confront or flee, right? And so it does things like it triggers our heart rate, it quickens our breathing, and it heightens our awareness. It's an ingrained survival instinct as humans. We all have it within us, right? We all have this. Why? You guys probably know this too, because back in the day, our ancestors had to flee from dangerous wild animals. And so when that happened, when, they were out foraging for food and they came across a life-threatening wild animal, they had to be prepared to run or to fight. And so the reason that happened, way back in the day when I was health coaching and I really worked with stress on my clients' lives to improve their health, like one of the cornerstones of the work I did was always to confront the stress. Because what happens is our physiological response when we are stressed is our heart pumps really hard. It, flows the blood to our arms and legs. It takes blood flow away from our digestive system and it prepares us to run. But the problem with today is that a lot of us are in fight or flight a lot of the time. And it's not like we run away from the tiger and then we come back to normal. Okay, that's the way it was designed. Get you to safety, and then your rest and digest or your parasympathetic nervous system would kick back in and you would regulate. Today, we don't regulate, right? As modern day humans, we can spend all day sometimes in flight or flight. I used to. This is why my adrenals crashed and burned, because I spent so many years in a state of massive stress. My heart was always pounding. I was always like running from the tiger. It wasn't really a tiger, right? But our nervous systems don't know the difference, okay? So I want you to think about how, when we're in the state of stress, it's not logical, it's physiological. Your body is having a response to the stress. It is like, okay, we got to run. Okay, we're in danger. Okay, your body's working perfectly. It's doing what it was designed to do. The problem is our modern day life doesn't know how to come back down, okay? So let's discover how this is happening for you. If you want to pull out your workbook, and Amanda, if you can just drop that down in the chat again in case anyone's come on since you dropped it the first time. I want you to pull out your workbook, and I would love for you to look at the common responses and to check the ones that are true for you, or you can just go through this and put a check mark on a piece of paper. Whatever you want to do is fine, okay? And you can add any other ways that you experience. Okay, so let's go through the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and see if you can identify what happens for you when you're in stress. I want you to recognize it. So the fight response, you might notice your jaw gets really tight. Your teeth get clenched. You might notice that your hands even just like tighten up, or your body gets really tight. It's why a lot of us have tension headaches and knots in our backs, right? Because we're tense. You might notice that you feel anger or rage when you get into a fight response. or you get knots in your stomach. Remember, blood flows away from our stomach, so we don't digest our food. Okay, and so then we have digestive problems. Another thing that can happen in the fight response is projecting our anger onto someone else. Anybody ever do that? Right? It's like that one last drop in the bucket, and you're just like, blah, because we didn't, we didn't feel our feels. We were in a big stress response, right? So notice. Tell me how many of those, or how many of you checked one or more in that box. Just tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many of those did you notice that you experienced? Doesn't mean you're experiencing it right now or all the time, but how many do you notice that you experience for you? 2, Amanda.
Just in the fight section?
And just in the fight section, yeah, the first one.
2.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, 4, 1. We're all different, right? We're all gonna have one of these is gonna be where we have more. Okay, so let's look at the flight response. When our response to stress is to flight, is to flee, it's to run away, we might notice that we get anxiety or we find ourselves with some really shallow breathing, right? We're not taking deep breaths. It's like we're just like gulping for air, just getting these like shallow breaths. You might get fidgety, you might get restless, you might feel trapped, you might feel even like you have to move your legs or your feet. My brother is like this. Like I remember just watching him, he was always shaking, like always shaking a knee if he's sitting still, right? It was like there was always that sense of just needing to move. Maybe you have a sense of running in life. Anybody do this? One activity, the next. Like, oh, I'm over here, then I'm over here, then I'm over here, then I'm over here, right? That is a flight response. And notice if something always comes up for you and you find yourself saying you just don't have time, right? Notice if you always don't have time. That can be a symptom of being in flight. I'm not saying it is, but it can be. Laura, all 4 in flight. Thank you. Yeah, that's a way that you'll notice that your body gets in flight. Who else has? How many did you guys have in that? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Just tell me in the chat. There's no judgment here. We're just noticing, like, what's your way, right? We all have a way. 3 for you, Amanda. I do all this too. Yeah, totally. I get that. 2 for Deb, 2 for Deborah. Yeah, totally. Okay, freeze. Let's look at the freeze response. So when we are in the freeze response, what happens is we end up feeling stuck or frozen. So feeling stuck is the first one. You might even notice that you're saying to yourself, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm just stuck, right? That's a sign of freeze response. You might feel frozen where you're taking no action at all. You're like, gosh, I have this goal and I haven't done a thing on it. I don't know why I'm watching Netflix right now, but I'm watching Netflix, right? You might have a sense of stiffness. Maybe you like have a really stiff back, your joints are stiff, your neck is stiff, or heaviness, like you just feel heavy. That's a sign of the freeze response. Holding your breath, like restricted breathing, right? It's like all of a sudden, do you ever like tune into yourself and notice you've just like, you're not even breathing? You're just like, sign of a freeze response, right? Or maybe it's just the sense of like, gosh, like you just feel off, you're sensing dread, your heart is pounding, like that fear is just there. And then the last one, I kind of already talked about it with feeling frozen as inability to take action. It's like no matter what, like you just can't seem to take any action. 5 for you, Amanda. Thank you. Yeah, that's a big one for you. Notice 6 for other Amanda. Yep. Freeze, 6 for me. I swear this gets me. Yep, 6. So, oh, this for a lot of you. This one is 6. Yeah, good to just notice, right? This is what we do. And then let's look at fawn. Okay, fawn is one that is more recently talked about than it has been in the past. So fawn is a response where you're actually ignoring your own needs to take care of someone else. Okay, it's kind of that codependency tendency where it's like you ignore the fact that you're exhausted so that you can take care of someone else. You don't rest, you push, right? Or you don't take action on your business because you're taking care of someone else. That's what we call the fawn response. Another one is when you're not feeling seen or heard by others. You just have a sense of like, nobody sees me, no one can hear me. Another one is never being able to say no, okay? No matter what anybody asks, you're like, sure, I'll do it, sure, I'll do it, sure, I'll do it. And then you find yourself resentful and frustrated, right? Feeling responsible for other people's emotions. I don't want anyone to be mad at me. I'm gonna say yes so nobody gets mad. Not voicing your values. Not share, like, no, I disagree with this, right? You don't speak up and share, like, this is not, I'm not in alignment with this, okay? Or not having clear boundaries. Not having a clear yes, clear no. What's your boundary? Nobody knows, so they're just walking all over them, right? That can be also fun. Apparently, I just don't fight well because I'm great at all the others. Yeah, great to know. This is just for noticing. And so the point of this exercise was just for you, it was just for you to see like, oh wow, I can really see how my physiological responses are to when I'm in stress. And being aware of it, you can tune in, okay? So we want to talk about moving into resiliency. So, what we're trying to do is we're recalibrating the physiological response and regulating our nervous system. So, when we find ourselves in a fight or flight response, we don't have to stay here. There are things that we can do to gently move our body back into a regulated nervous system. And this is really important in our modern day world. And I know it's a buzzword now. I mean, you can tune into any social media, or maybe it's just my channels, but there's a lot of talk about a regulated nervous system, and I'm really glad that there is. Because we didn't know what this was before. I didn't know what this was when I was living in a state of stress and burnout. So we want to move from fight or flight, as I said, into rest and digest mode. This is the place where our body can assimilate all the nutrition that we're feeding it. Okay, it's like we can become healthy because our body's actually able to digest and take the nutrients from our food and put them in our bloodstream, and we get to be healthy and all the things. Breath work is really powerful here. And whether you're someone who's in going through breath work sessions, we have some powerful breath work facilitators in our community, or you're simply using your breath. I'm going to take you through a technique today that you can use anywhere, in the grocery store, in your car, wherever, that can get your body back into rest and digest. Another way that we can move into resiliency is being willing to feel. It's crazy, right? Just simply being willing to feel it all. So this is the reason that we've been journaling, breathing, tapping through our fear. It's an invitation for you to just feel your emotions. Because most of the time, what we're actually afraid of is feeling the negative emotion, you guys, feeling the negative emotion associated with taking the risk. Okay. So it's not actually that we're afraid of failing. It's that we're afraid of feeling the feeling of rejection or failure or not enoughness. We just don't want to feel that negative feeling. That's what we're avoiding. So if we can get really good at feeling our feelings and we realize, you know what, it is safe for me to feel any feeling. I can feel rejection. I can feel disappointment, and I'm still fine. I can feel it and I can move it through me. And emotions are energy in motion. Every emotion you have is simply a form of energy. It's not meant to get trapped in your body. But the reason we stay in fight or flight is because we push it down. I wish that as kids we were taught to feel our emotions. I think it's changing now, parenting today. We're teaching our kids how to feel things, but I was never taught that. I was taught to suck it up and keep going, right? That's what I saw my parents do. I was like, you got to get tough. Put your big girl pants on, get going. So it's really important. This work matters. And it's the stuff that we're talking about business. Everyone's just like, you gotta go and you gotta hustle and you gotta take massive action, right? But we don't deal with all of what we're feeling inside. And this is actually the stuff that is holds our power. So this is why, for example, playing for 50 no's feels different when winning equals hearing the no, right? So if you're willing to feel it all, and if you're willing to experience it all, you are resilient. Okay, you are. So someone type this in the chat for me. If you're willing to feel it all and experience it all, you are resilient. It's just simply a willingness, right? It's not about getting rid of a feeling. It's about alchemizing it. Thanks, Amanda. It's not about getting rid of a feeling. It's about alchemizing it. It's about feeling the disappointment and then alchemizing it into your power. Or feeling anxiety or feeling fear, and then alchemizing it through the feeling of it. Has anyone ever heard the saying, fear is excitement without breath? Yeah, I love that. Fear is excitement without breath. It's almost like the same feeling, but when you're in fear, you're holding your breath, right? So we want to just get the breath moving. So when we are feeling afraid, what happens is adding our breath to the experience is what alchemizes the feeling into something we can use to keep moving forward. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down here? You guys are getting this? Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I've just been avoiding feeling disappointed this whole time, and I actually could just feel disappointed. And what I found out when I started doing this practice years ago, you guys, it was so surprising to me how quickly I could change the trajectory of my day by being willing to breathe through a feeling. Like, I was shocked, to be honest, at how quickly I could move through. Sometimes within just minutes, I would go from like being in this sort of dark space into suddenly being connected back to my power and just moving on with my day. Some of the most powerful work I've ever done. And one of the ways that I do this is with what I call the 5-4-7 breath. So, for those of you who are clients of Rise, you know this. I've taught this many times before. And all you do, now you can do this anywhere, right? In the grocery store, in your car, in a conversation with your spouse or partner. All you do is when your body's in a flight, fight, freeze, fawn response, is you inhale for a count of 5. You hold at the top for a count of 4, and you exhale from 7 counts. This will trick your body into thinking you're relaxed. It's like a nervous system hack. Your body's like, oh, she's fine. She's breathing. We're good. And then your mind comes back on board. So let's do this together, okay? So go ahead and put your feet flat on the floor. And close your eyes if you can. If you're not multitasking in a way that's dangerous, just close your eyes. And I'm going to have you inhale it through the nose for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold at the top for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And now slowly exhale out the mouth for a count of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do it 2 more times. Inhale to a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One last time. Inhale to a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Tell me what you notice. Do you feel different on the other side of that? Tell me in the chat, what do you feel? Do you feel more relaxed? Did your shoulders relax? Refreshed, Amanda. Yeah. Did you notice that maybe you unclenched your jaw or your shoulders came down? You get a pang of anxiety at holding your breath. So what I would do for you, Laura, is I wouldn't do that one. If you get a pang of anxiety when you hold your breath, I would skip that. What I would do instead, this is also powerful. This is called heart rate variability, is you're going to do even breathing, inhale, exhale. So like in for a count of 5, exhale, count of 5. In for a count of 5, exhale, count of 5. And it will work just as well. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, you do you, right? Your lungs needed that. Yeah, we forget to take a deep breath because when we're in fight or flight, we're not breathing. We're not breathing right. It's shallow. We're just breathing into the lungs instead of the belly. And so we're not going to do this one together today, but the heart rate variability breath is also powerful, right? Just in You can make it through a count of 4, 5, 6, whatever feels good for you, you do you, but it's regulating your inhale and your exhale, and that gets your heart and brain coherent with each other. Both are really good. Yeah. So I want you to take this on today, okay? I want you to practice this breath. Keep it in your tool belt. Notice when you get into a crunchy conversation at work or with your spouse or your partner, or you get a no and you're feeling funky. You could just do 1 round of this. You could do 10 rounds of it. You just deepen your breath, right? So give that a try. And Gina, I always need this reminder to breathe. Yeah, totally. I need it too, right? I need it too. I've made it a really big part of my morning spiritual practice, is to bring some breath work in, and I do it throughout the day because it's been life-changing for me. When I told you guys a little bit about when I went through it was total adrenal fatigue. Like I was really ill, you guys, I was unwell, and I had to heal, right, from the stress. And some of you know this, but my doctor had said, I want you to start meditating. And if you know me now, you're like, of course she meditates all the time. I, I thought she was insane. I was like, absolutely not. I can't meditate. Like, no, there's no way. I could never settle my mind. Like, it's not possible for me. And she was like, okay, fine. Like, here's this pamphlet on breathing. Just do some deep breaths. And I was like, oh, fine. I can breathe fine, right? And what happened for me is when I started doing this intentional breathing, it changed my life. And I'm not even joking. That's not even like I'm exaggerating. It changed my life. I was like, this is what it feels like to breathe. This is what it feels like to settle my nervous system. This is amazing. And then eventually, after so much of that, I started adding meditation, and it's one of my favorite practices. So it really, like, I can't stress enough. It seems like such a simple thing, but there's so much power in it, right? So take that on, right? Take it on and make it yours. Everything I'm teaching you is like a tool to try, but feel free to explore. Go to YouTube if you want to. Come up with your own way, but just whatever it is that gets you in your body is what works for you, and do more of that. Okay. Laura, you have a tattoo on your left hand that is breathe in Tibetan. Oh, it's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, so good. It's our life force energy, right? So, we talked a little bit as Kayla, as you notice, Kayla's not here. She has a cough. She is feeling better, by the way. Thanks for all your good wishes. She does have this annoying cough, and she's like, I'm really afraid I'm just gonna be disruptive to everyone if if I'm there coughing. So, um, in her notes for today, she was planning on, I had shared her notes about what it was like to take dance camp, right? For those of you who are on for that one. Every year, once a year, she'd go to dance camp. And so she had a dance analogy here, and I think it's good. So I'm going to leave it in here for those of you who are familiar with dancing. When you're learning a new dance or a new routine, you mark the floor, right? And that means that you go through the motions so that you know where you should be on the floor and when you should be there, right? When you're learning a new routine, that's what we do. We mark the floor, we go through the motions. Then, once we get that down, we start practicing, right? You give the whole routine a go, you put it all together, and you're in the space of practicing. Kind of like what we've been, what we've been doing here. And then eventually it's time to do it full out, right? So I want you to think about this is dress rehearsal, you're in your costume, and you're doing every move as best you can, as big as you can, you're dancing full out. And then it's showtime, right? Step 4 is you're going to do it with full feeling, all of the emotions in your body. You're going to do every move. You're going to add your heart. You're going to add your personality. You're going to add your energy. You're going to put in your facial expressions. You notice how if you watch someone dancing, and they're like, really their face is like making facial expressions when they dance, how much more alive it brings the dance, right? Um, it's showtime and others are watching and you're just in the fullest expression of yourself. Okay? So that's exactly what we're up to here in Bold Moves. That's what we've been moving through. And you might notice that you've spent a lot of your life marking the floor, right? Just like practicing where to be and when to be there. And so that's okay, right? There is a time when we go through that. On day 1, we practiced, okay? Day 1 was the day where we practiced. We practiced what it felt like to make a bold move. Yesterday, we did it full out. We went for it. We did the thing. We took the scary action. Today, my request is that you play full out with feeling, okay? So you go all out, or you bring all of you to the table, all of your emotions, all of your feeling. You let yourself be fully present and feel the full experience of what it's like to just play full out with the bold moves that you're making in your life. So let's do a little exercise together. I want you to just tell me in the chat, and it's important to do this too. So really give me your answers on this, right? In the next 48 hours, so today's Wednesday, so Wednesday to Friday, I want you to think about this little window of time, Wednesday until Friday, the next 48 hours. What does winning look like for you? Okay, so winning looks like, what is it for you? What does winning look like? And you can't get this wrong, right? This is your answer. Your answer is your answer. Maybe winning looks like continued self-care. Maybe winning looks like I keep playing the 50 no's game. Maybe winning looks like I invite someone to work with me. What is it for you? What does winning look like? More sales. Winning looks like making aligned decisions for my life and career that does not burn me out and keeps me feeling purposely fueled. Beautiful. Awesome. And you don't have to tell me this, Jasmine. This is just for you. Like, write down for you where in your life are you making those decisions? Or if you know those decisions, like, what are you deciding on? Just write it down for you. Laura, it looks like getting projects off my list. That's winning. Okay, great. Creating $1,000 in income, Amanda. Great. Beautiful. Okay. Now, you're holding in your mind, if you haven't added it yet, please drop it in the chat, right? What winning looks like for you in the next 48 hours. Taking care of you, Deborah. Great. I want you to think about the version of you who's taking those actions, okay? So, Amanda, making sure I set my boundaries with my schedule over the next month as we lead up to our fashion show. Great. I make steps forward with clients in our events. Amazing. Okay, great. So, to be in this space of like, I get to Friday and I am winning and I am celebrating me showing up for me, what are the beliefs you're holding? Okay, what are the beliefs you're holding? The beliefs I will hold are maybe a belief, like for Deborah, it's safe for me to rest. It's power in resting, right? Just going to drop the question in here for you guys. The beliefs I will hold are I'm blessed and highly favored. I love it, Deborah. I'm just looking at Amanda. I make steps forward with clients and our events. Awesome. What are you believing about you, your clients, to take those steps forward? Resting now will give me more energy and mental focus later. Love it. Amanda Torres, so winning is creating $1,000 in income. What are you believing? Maybe it's like money can flow to me through any channel, right? Anything is possible. Yeah, I love it. Our beliefs determine our results, period. Our beliefs determine our results, period. If you can look at any result you have in your life right now and ask yourself, what am I believing about that? And you will see that your beliefs and your results match. Unless it's something you're just in the process of shifting. Sometimes there's a little gap between bringing something into our physical reality, right? If you think it's impossible, you're right. Yeah, totally. So it's really important that you're clear on your beliefs. You get to decide, right? Like, what am I going to believe about this? Well, if I believe it's possible, then anything is possible. And here's the thing, our beliefs, what we believe truly, is what determines our feelings. Okay, so we have a thought, And that thought has a chemical response, to put it simply, in our brain, and that brain creates a feeling or an emotion. It creates an energy in our body. This could be a negative emotion, it could be a positive emotion, but it's always being generated from our thoughts. Okay? So, what are the feelings that you're going to evoke when you're having that thought? Anything is possible. What are the feelings that follow that? The feelings I will evoke are peace. Yeah. I'm holding a thought in my mind of anything is possible. And when I'm believing that, I'm feeling peace. Totally. Resilience. I love that, Laura. Yeah, I'm feeling resilient. So good. Maybe you're feeling really focused, right? I'm feeling focused. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling expanded. I'm feeling joyful. Perseverance also. Yeah, that's great. So good. So we have to understand this connection, right? You're feeling gratitude. You're feeling empowered. Because what happens is our feelings generate our actions. Always. Okay? The actions we take will be generated by our feelings. So, if we are feeling really scared and like really hopeless and really like, ugh, it's not going to happen for me anyway, what are the chances of us taking an action, right? Slim to none. No action. Or sometimes we can force ourselves to take an action, but we're taking this action on top of a bunch of doubt. And then we wonder why that action's not doing anything, right? So, what are your actions? This is important. Tell me, what are the actions you're going to be taking to create this win? Your action might be resting, it could be an active rest, it might be making some phone calls to clients, holding some meetings, it might be inviting someone to work with you, it might be lacing up your running shoes and going for a walk or a run, it might be having a difficult conversation with someone. So go ahead and decide for you, what are the actions you're taking that's creating this win in the next 48 hours? Go ahead and tell me in the chat. Laura, reassess, rest, reassess, relax, then react. Yes, love it. Great. Amanda, I'll make the post. I will hold the meeting and invite them to work with me, and I will read for pleasure at night. Yes, I love it. I love that. Clarifying my business vision. Okay, great. Deborah? Make sure you guys put something down. Mark out your action, right? This is your action plan for the next 2 days. So be really clear on what you're going to do.
Hey, Lisa,
Yeah.
I have just a quick thing. So, like, I get into this weird phase of like, I love to read, and it's like reading's my thing, right? Like, I just love it. But I get into this weird cycle where it's like, if I haven't produced enough in the day, whether it's not even just income, but things, like, I won't read at night because it's like I haven't done enough to like merit the reward, if that makes sense. Like, it is such, I am 45 years old. Like, I can read if I want to read. So like, I think this is going to be a really important piece, is just actually like doing, not having to wait for the, to do that, like just doing it because I want to do it. And that's what I'm able to do and entitled. Like, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it is a really important piece, and I love that you're saying that. Like, holding, like looking forward to that pleasure that you get to have in the evening is not because you did so many things on your to-do list. It's because you enjoy it. That's it, right? It's because you get
Allowing myself to be that.
yeah. Yeah, it's active rest, right? It's active rest. It's something that fulfills you. And that's really important. And that's going to actually fuel you for the next day. So I like that you're saying that. Absolutely.
And can I just say something about
Sure.
reading?
Yeah.
Because reading, and agree with Laura, reading is right because there's so many people who can't read. And as a person who is really about literacy, there are so many people that can't read. They're graduating from college, they can't read. And so it is a right, and it's beautiful that you want to read. And I think spreading that joy of reading is something that I think you can just take with you because it really is very difficult right now. And I'm really passionate about literacy right now because a lot of our children can't read. And we've taken things out of the schools so that they can learn to read. And we remove phonics and we don't have cursive writing. So we really are not giving them the the tools that they need to love reading. We're not meeting them where they are. And so
Mhm.
for me, I'm very passionate about that. Ignore that. That's a spam. That just, but I just wanted to say that because just to hear that you're passionate about it, it really is a right. And there really is, there's actually a documentary out about the right to read. Because when one of the teachers went to his class, only two of the kids could read in his class. That's appalling. And that's why we really have to funnel in and show them the beauty of words. And the written word, I used to tell my son, is very powerful. I make him recite the written word, and he would say is very powerful. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a
Thank
degree in English, and I will for exactly back up everything Deborah said. Like, I am so passionate about reading as pleasure and not a reward. Like, it's the same thing. Like, if you want a cookie, eat the fucking cookie. Like, you don't need to run 3 miles for the day to enjoy a cookie. Same thing with
Yeah.
reading, if not more so.
I have a shameless plug. My 7-year-old granddaughter is obsessed with reading so much to the point where like I told her it was time to put her book down before bed and she started crying. I'm like, I love this. I love it, but like it's also late and you're 7. But no, reading has always been like it's a thing. Like I got yelled at constantly when I was a kid to put my book down because it was midnight. So I love that I'm passing that on then. So
Yeah,
What a beautiful
that's a
perspective.
blessing. That's a whole new thing. I mean, my son could read at 2.5, and I am plugging him because he could read at 2.5, and we didn't even realize it. He just was reading, and people thought he was memorizing, but it's that gift of learning. And I
Mhm.
always tell mothers, when you're pregnant, read in the stomach. Read while they're in the womb. They hear it. They feel you. We did that. Oh, I did that. As I always say, my husband planted the seed, but I carried the load. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm
Thanks,
done
Deborah.
for the day.
So good. Yeah. What a
And I
great.
was that kid that knew where all the flashlights in the house were, so I could do my 3 a.m. reading. And I broke many glasses doing it. Yes.
Ah, that's great. Oh, so funny. I just got a message from Zoom that says it looks like you might have switched to a different language. Please update it so we can better. All right, Zoom thinks I'm speaking another language. That's is so interesting. It's all the high vibes, you guys. Okay, so, and Amanda needs to have a quote on her wall, eat the fucking cookie. I love it so much. Yes, you do. Uh, so good. These are great, you guys. So, yes, and you know what? We don't know where that inspiration comes from for the next action, for the next thing we're going to create, right? It might come through the novel that you're reading. We just think it like we have to be doing. Receiving is just, if not more, important part of the equation. So, this is a great conversation. I love this. Okay, so yes, make sure that you have your actions that you're going to take for the next 48 hours are really clear to you, be specific. And then my last question for this section is I know that I'm playing full out with feeling when, right? I'll know that I'm playing full out with feeling when. What will you be receiving? Okay? This is about receiving. So, what will you be receiving when you're playing full out with feeling? Maybe you'll be proud of yourself, right? Maybe you'll be receiving clients. Maybe you'll be receiving connections or friendships. Maybe you'll be receiving intimacy or conflict resolution or um, it could be money. It could be money. It could be money. Like there's no right or wrong answer to this. But we do need to be in receiving mode. Okay, so we're taking a bold swing, we're feeling our feelings, we're playing full out. We want to make sure that we're not gripping with fists closed so that what we're inviting in with our bold swings can't come to us. Laura, I'll feel satisfied and accomplished and can take a rest from the constant hustle mode. Amazing. Deborah, not listening to the outside noise and leaning into my brilliance with intention, purpose, and grace. Love it. Yeah. Receiving is something Kayla and I talk about a lot because a lot of times when we're not manifesting the abundance that we want to have in our lives is because we have blocked the receiving. This might have been in one of our circle coaching conversations that we had within our community yesterday, but we were talking about how important, like the way the universe is designed is that it's designed on giving and receiving. It's the entire design of the whole universe, right? The tide goes in, the tide goes out. We have day and we have night, right? And things are meant to like flow in and flow out. When we're unwilling to receive, and a lot of us have been taught that like receiving is wrong, we're supposed to give, give, give. If all we're doing is giving and doing and putting out, we are blocking abundance. Okay, we're blocking it and we don't even realize we're doing it because we have to be willing to receive. We have to be in receiving mode. So I'm going to give you a couple of myths about receiving. People think that receiving is passive. You don't have to do anything at all. It just comes to you. That's a myth. Okay. Also, Amanda, here's a myth. You have to have earned it, right? We think we have to have earned it before we can receive. That's not true. And if you want it bad enough, that it will come to you. That's another myth about receiving. Just wanting, right? Actually, the wanting can block the receiving. So here are the truths about receiving, okay? Receiving is active. Receiving is active. The second truth is that you are innately worthy of receiving because you are, because you exist. You're worthy. You're worthy to receive. And the third one is receiving is a willingness. We have to be willing to receive. Notice how so often we're not, right? We feel like, oh, I should just take care of everyone else. I should be the one taking care of everyone else. The reason that most people are not receiving is because they're stuck in wanting, okay? So I'm not going to do a whole explanation of this now, but I want to touch on this a little bit and you guys could look this up. So all emotions can be measured with a scientific unit called Hertz, okay? This research was done by Dr. David R. Hawkins. He has many, many books about this. The book this is from, I believe, is Power versus Force. And so he actually measured the frequency of different emotions. Such an interesting study. So the emotion of wanting measures at 125 hertz, okay? That is below the threshold of the frequency of abundance. So when we're in wanting, right, it's kind of like down at the bottom here. So I want you to imagine that towards the bottom is 0, and then up at the top, I believe the top measurement was like 800, something like that in hertz up here. This is like enlightenment up in the top. And wanting, the emotion of wanting is like way down here. So it's not the kind of wanting in terms of like, I have a desire, I have a dream, like I have a vision. It's not. What we're talking about here is like closed fist wanting. I want it, I want it, I want this. And when we're in that kind of wanting, we're actually just in scarcity. We could also call it scarcity. We're hooked into the emotion of not having it. Okay, that's the energy we're in. Is like all that we're aware of is like we don't have it. And so we're in the space of wanting. So the energy of wanting is that closed fist. There's no room for our desires to come in, right? It's like if somebody's going to throw something at us and our fists are closed, we can't catch it. So instead of wanting, you have to know what your desire is and you have to show up for it, right? That's what we've been doing in Bold Moves. We've been taking action. We've been showing up for our desires. We've been open to it instead of just being in the scarcity of the not having it. And so then beyond showing up for your desire, we have to be willing to receive. We have to be willing to receive it. We have to be willing to have it. We have to be willing to have abundance and wealth and love and relationships and whatever it is that you're wanting, right? So willingness measures in at 310 hertz. Okay, so like wanting is here, willingness is up here at 310. Being willing means we're in trust. We're in a state of trust. Okay, we're not micromanaging, we're not watching the cake bake, we're just trusting that it's baking. So, a good analogy of this is imagine that you go to a restaurant, right? And just at a coffee shop, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have, my oat milk latte with mocha syrup in it. You place your order, you go sit back down. And the energy of willingness is you just relax. You probably chat with your friend and you don't even think about whether or not that coffee is going to arrive at your table. Like you just trust that it is, right? Notice that you don't get up and go back up to the counter and ask them 5 more times. Like, by the way, did you get my latte order? Is it coming? When is it coming? Are you sure that it's coming? Because I don't see any evidence of it yet. I don't see a coffee at my table. So, are you sure you have my order? Do you have the mocha syrup? Do you have the oat milk? That doesn't happen, right? We don't do that. We sit back and trust. So that's the energy I'm talking about here when I say willingness is take the action and then go sit down at the table and trust and know that the order you've placed is coming. Remember, it doesn't necessarily have to come from that direct action. Okay? Can come any which way that God source universe wants to send it to you. Your action is what opens up the door. But the channel it comes in on can come from anywhere. That's not our business. So when we receive, it means that things are going to change, right? It means a new element has been added into the equation. So if we're willing to receive, something's going to happen. We're going to have more money. We're going to have more support. We're going to have more clients. We're going to have more team members. We might have more responsibility. We might have more free time. Something is going to change, okay? And so we're willing for things to change and be different once we receive. Go ahead and tell me in the chat, what is it that you are willing to receive? What are you willing to receive? I know you already told me once, but tell me again. Give me a little bit more. What else are you willing to receive? What else? A few amazing clients. Yeah, totally. What else, you guys? Are you willing to receive more money, more help and support? More money, Amanda. Yeah, great. What else? Clients, money, help to flow in systems for my business? Yes. More money to support my plans? Yes. Financial freedom? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We have to be willing, right? So my next question for you is what will change once you receive your desire? Once you receive that thing, what will change? What will change? Will you be able to hire more help? Will you be able to travel? Um, will you have more clients that you're caring for? Like, there's no right or wrong answer, but just notice what will change. We'll be supported. Clients will get more communication. Beautiful. I won't dread looking at the calendar. Amazing. And then my last question is, how would we know if you're actually willing to receive? How would we know if you are actually willing to receive? What would we see? And we're like, oh, she's totally willing to receive. Would we see you taking big swings, bold moves, being in action, taking a rest day, reading a book, all of the above? Notice what it is for you. Go ahead and tell me in the chat. I am in kinetic energy mode. Yeah, so good. Better mental health balance. Yeah, totally. I love that. Yes, what Laura said. A way that we can stay in willingness is by calling our desires in and expecting it to happen. Having an expectation that it's going to happen. This is a quote from Tony Robbins. We always meet our expectations, right? We do. If you think about all the abundance you already have around you, you probably have no resistance to it, right? You turn on the water faucet and there's an abundance of water flowing out. You probably expect that to happen, right? So wait and see doesn't work, but committing and then meeting our expectations is what works. Rather than waiting for the fear to go away, waiting and seeing what happens, we actually make a commitment. We take action and then we just meet our expectations. Sometimes it doesn't come to fruition exactly how we pictured it, but it does come to fruition, right? Or if it doesn't, it's opening up space for the next desire to come in. So we have to be willing, do you like when I say my vision, I'll often say this or something better. Instead of it like, it can only come in this way, I can only be this desire. It's this or something better. Like, I don't know, maybe there's something better than I can even vision for my life right now. So can you think of a time when like what you intended didn't happen, but it worked out even better? Feel free to tell me in the chat if you can think of that, right? Kayla shares the story a lot about when she worked at a nonprofit and something happened. She had to write off $12,000 of money that she had raised, that she, goes towards your goal. She was a professional fundraiser. And what actually ended up happening through that is she got $100,000 sponsorship. So lost the 12,000, got $100,000, like way more than, was expected. Sometimes it's detours in the right direction. She also, I'm just gonna read you her examples here so we feel like she's with us a little bit. So, they had been saving money to build a house, right? Their intention was to build a house on the water here in Michigan, where we are. And then they ended up finding a new build. And it saved them 2 years off their plan. They were able to buy a new build. They didn't have to save up. Like sometimes it's just detours in the right direction. So we have to be willing for it to come a different way than we imagined it, right? Missing out on lake property to get one better than I ever dreamed of. Yeah, we all have experiences like that, right? It's like I thought it was going to go one way, it didn't, and then something even better turned out. So we have to be willing that our desires can come in, and that doesn't mean that we want to spend, let me back that up. We have to be willing for our desires to come in, and we have to be willing for any possibility. Amanda, I had a new client and they let go and it gave more room for what I really love more of. Yes, totally. Right? I've had that experience too, where it's like said yes to a client that wasn't in alignment. And then once that was released, it was like all of a sudden floodgates open for this new energy to flow in. So here's the thing, we have to be willing for all possibilities to occur. Okay, so I want you to think about it this way. If we go swimming, the possibility exists that we could sink. So either we can never get in the water and enjoy a swim, or we can be willing to get in the water knowing we could sink or swim, right? And that's kind of like a good analogy. Or when we drive a car, I mean, we expect to get to our destinations safely, but we have to be willing for the possibility of a crash. We're not calling that in, we're not expecting it. We don't say that that's going to happen. We're just willing, like, we'd never be willing to take a drive if we weren't willing for that to occur, okay? So often we get in the way of willingness to receive because we're not willing for any other possibility. So that's the point of this conversation, is just to open us up to be willing for any possibility. This or something better. And we're also willing if we have some failure, AKA learning along the way, as we talked about yesterday. So we want to call in our desires. We want to stay connected to our expectations, but not so attached to our outcome that something else can occur so that it keeps us stuck. Okay. So you want to do some things that can really help you just stay connected as I'm bringing this part of the session to a close today. Is like, you want to stay so connected to that desire and you want to stay in expectation with the sense of willingness, right? You could do something like send yourself the email that you're wanting to get in response, right? Maybe you're waiting for a response by email, send it to yourself. Like, we've chosen you or we've selected you to be our next speaker at such and such. Practice receiving, right? You could change the background on your phone to a message that reminds you of who you are. You could post a photo of the experience where you can see it, right? Like we talked about the anchor yesterday. And this one, highly recommend, visualize yourself having the experience you want. Do it every morning, right? Be in the vision. Let that vision pull you forward. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. It takes a lot of the fight or flight away when it see you have the thing over and over and over. So what is it for you? How will you call in what you're ready to receive? Are you going to take on a visioning practice? Are you going to, start leaving yourself notes? Are you going to speak it into existence? How will you call in what you're ready to receive? Maybe you write yourself a check, put it on your wall. You're going to do the email to yourself, Amanda? Yeah, that's so great. How will you call in what you're ready to receive? Go ahead and tell me in the chat, you guys. What are you going to do? Vision and looking for abundance of what is already. Yeah, keep an abundance list. We're so much around us. I've written myself a check last week and it's on my mirror also. Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Can I speak mine verbally because that's too long?
of course. Yeah.
I wrote, and I feel like I need to put this into a LinkedIn post because the minute I said it, it like really hit something with me. But stay present, stay open, stay loud, stay positive, stay curious, and stay supportive.
Ooh, yeah. That's really good. Thank you. Yeah, that should be a LinkedIn post. Share that. So good. Okay, I'm going to give you guys today's actions, right? This is your homework, your action steps for today. I'm going to put this in the chat for you. Number one is remember that winning equals loving yourself enough to complete the exercise, right? We're playing to build our muscle, not get a perfect result. So winning is just taking the action no matter the result. Get performance ready. Put on an outfit and prepare yourself to dance full out with the feeling. Okay, so think about this like you dress like your future self, right? You put on the outfit that makes you feel amazing. You play full out. Number three is expect to receive and then make a bold move and meet your expectations. Expect to receive it. Expect to get the yes. Number four is energetically keep your palms open. Wear your favorite bra and panties when you need extra encouragement. Love that. Yeah. There's a reason that when, we meditate a lot of times we'll keep our palms open, right? And maybe you just do this, just like throughout the day, you just set your palms on your lap, right side up, expecting to receive, right? Number five, call in what you're willing to receive with a tangible action or reminder. So this is your visioning. You could, like Amanda has that check on her mirror. You could write yourself the email. And number six is celebrate yourself and how you showed up. You are worthy of celebrating. It doesn't matter what your results are, right? Celebrating yourself will rewire your subconscious. Like, I showed up, I did the thing, I made the ask, I took the rest, I took the nap, I read the book, I showed up. That's a celebration. And the more that you do that, in our community, we celebrate on Fridays, right? We ask our community, write a post, celebrate, say something good, tell me what happened, what's your gratitude? It's really important. Feel free to do that in the Yet You Live Your Yes Life here. We do have a Friday wins post in here also. Come in here and share. Really important. Okay, this was so good, you guys. I want to open it up to you all and take some time for coaching. So we can coach on anything that opened up for you today or something different. Like if something else is top of mind for you, I am here for it. So feel free to either raise a hand, hop off mute, whatever feels good, and we'll dive in wherever you guys want. It could be a question, it could be a share, it could be a request for coaching, whatever it is.
For I have more of a question than necessarily like full coaching, I'd say, but
Okay.
yesterday I spoke on one thing and then the decision was okay, make a call and see what happens. So sometimes it's really that you just have to sit there and be patient. And I'm not the most patient person sometimes, but
Yeah.
like would you recommend that, when you're in a situation where you kind of do need it in a certain timeline, in what it is, and you have done all that you can to make that happen in where the current time frame is it just, would you recommend taking that time, obviously you can't meditate all day long, but just taking some time there to really sit there and, maybe send that email and just sit there with your palms open and say, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it in this time frame, and put that into the universe. Like, would you say that is the best way to approach when you just really, the only answer left is being patient?
Yeah, I mean, you totally can, right? Like, I think, okay, yeah, I'll say this, that when we put a timeline on something, I don't think it's a bad thing to do. I don't think it's a problem to have a clear intention on a timeline. I think that's totally fine, unless the timeline is gonna put you into scarcity. Okay. Sometimes what happens is like, well, we get into like, but I need this by Friday. I'm just gonna use Friday. Like, but I need this by Friday. And Friday's approaching and we don't have the thing. It takes us, that's the equivalent of us jumping behind the counter at the coffee shop and being like, but do you got the oat milk? Did you get the coffee started? Is it coming? Right? And so we're in that energy of like, we're out of trust. We're like, I don't know if this is actually
Right.
coming. It's already Thursday night and it's not here. So I don't know if it's coming. Now we're back in the energy of scarcity. And as you know, this is universal law to the universe, like it just mirrors who we are. It mirrors who we are. So if we're hooked into scarcity, the universe is like, cool, here's scarcity. It's the universe is neutral, right? It's just like,
Right.
oh, here you go. You don't think it's coming? Okay, it's not coming.
Right. Right.
So yeah, and so that's where it gets kind of like I like to let go of the timing. I understand some things happen. We live in a world where timing matters, but as much as you can just be in that energy of trust and like, you know what? I can even let go of the timing because it's this or something better.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. That was a great question.
Yeah, there's a gospel song that says, "After you've done all you can, you just stand." And I think
Yeah.
sometimes we need to just take that pause.
Yeah.
When you've done all that you could do,
Hmm.
just
I love
take
that.
that pause. Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and that just came to mind when you said that because I think sometimes we need to just stand. Particularly, we've done all we could do.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because you did use those words like I've done everything I could do, right? So
Right.
it's like, okay,
After you've
now
done
we
all you
rest.
can,
We've
you
done all
just
we can.
stand.
Yeah. You just stand, you just know, you just trust, you just be, you just live your life, right? Sometimes it's like go do anything else, right? Go read a book, go on a date, go like do anything because you're in the energy of trust. Yeah, love that. Who else has a question or some coaching, a share?
Lisa, I have a question for you. What do you find that, I mean, all the things that you hear people struggle with and, have challenges on, what's your biggest thing that you still struggle with to this day?
Mm. In terms of like manifesting or in relation to what would you say?
Um, I would just say in general about showing up and feeling confident and winning, just kind of in general, your day-to-day definition of success. Like what do you
Mm.
struggle with the most?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that question. I think for me, um, I think for me, it is honoring my pacing. So I am a person who requires a lot of time. Like the way that I like to create is it's a lot of time with me and source. And it's me in nature or it's me journaling. And I just require that time. That's who I am now. It's not who I used to be, but it's who I am now. And I struggle with that because Kayla's pace, we're as a business partners, is fast. Like we often use the analogy, she's the Instapot and I'm the slow cooker. And so for me to do my best work, it's meant to be slow cooked. That is my design, that is my blueprint, that's who I am, right? For her to do her best work, she's the Instapot. She's like ding 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 ding. I'm having fun, I'm creating, I'm the storyteller. And that's probably the biggest thing I struggle with, Laura, is honoring my process because I also want to honor hers,
Right.
right? So to honor hers, sometimes I'm like, well, gotta keep up. Let's next. But actually, what I've really come to understand is like, I'm not doing she or myself good if I don't honor me. This numerology has actually been really helpful for me in this and understanding my blueprint and my design and what I'm here to do. Um, and so I struggle with that a lot. So thanks for the question. Hmm.
And I think it's also really interesting when you've got your that you've recognized how you work best on a pace wise, but then you've also got, like I'm an ENFJ, and then I'm trying to work with somebody who's an INFT or whatever, and it's and then you've got the whole I'm an Enneagram 2 and somebody else is an Enneagram 9, and you take all these different competing things, and you can see why people sometimes have struggle with working together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's so true. Knowing our designs, right? Whether you're using something like Myers-Briggs or a personality test or numerology or human design, like knowing that about the people you work with, or even if they're your clients, it's powerful. So
Yeah.
powerful. Like I wish like I know all of my because numerology is my thing. So I know my whole family. I'm like, man, would I have loved to have had this when my kids were small? Like, would I have loved to have known to just honor who they are by design? So I agree. Just makes the understanding it can take us out of the frustration of why are you like that? It's
It's
like,
also
oh,
interesting when you have conversations with people who are also on the same plane as you as far as some of those I'm going to call them personality tests, but in general,
mhm,
that kind of how you work and how you best adapt. And
yeah,
sometimes when you get people, they say, "Oh, you're a manifesting generator, aren't you?" I'm like, "I am." So
yeah.
it's really interesting that once you start to work with that all, you can kind of like you can recognize it in other people, and I think it makes it a lot easier to recognize that in other people once you understand yourself.
100% agree. I think it has given me a lot more patience with other people and their way of thinking and working, where I used to get really frustrated and just be like, what planet are you on? It's like, oh, of course, right, because they're coming from this totally different place, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
that could be a whole separate workshop, right?
Oh, totally could. Yes. Yeah. I want to bring forward more just the numerology workshops. Just I think it can be powerful in our messaging, in our relationships, like,
Agreed.
so many things. Yeah. Amanda saying Big Five assessment is my personal favorite. Oh, if you ladies are curious, awesome. That's great. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I think you talked about that, Amanda, when you did a talk for us. That's great. Very cool. This conversation. Anything else coming up for you ladies that you want to share or add or have a little coaching on?
I'm actually just going to take off because I'm taking care of myself
Thank you.
that I need to do. But I want to thank you for this. It's been wonderful as always, and I really appreciate the time and the spiritual nature of what you do because we all are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so
Hmm.
for me, I just think that brings it in the context. And we talk about energy, and we know we're all energy. Uh, and getting people to understand that is very difficult sometimes because we think that we're just reactors. So I just wanted to thank you for that. I'm going to go take care of myself right now. And
Thank
it's nice
you.
meeting all of you ladies, and have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed, radiant rest of your day.
Awesome. Thanks, Deborah. So good to be with you. Yeah, such a great group, ladies. Great. Well, anyone else? We can always log off early if you guys don't feel like you have something, but I'm here for it if you do.
This has been really great. I know I missed yesterday and I haven't had time to watch the replay yet, but I think just giving myself the last couple of days and hours to really reassess how I'm thinking about things is giving me the peace of mind that I don't need to burn out in order to accomplish things. And that's, I think my default going back to like childhood trauma, I need to accomplish things to be seen. I need to accomplish things to be recognized. And the whole you don't see me unless I burn out.
Mm, yeah. Thank you. I'm really glad that this resonated for you with that. I totally can like relate to that. I just read the book Spiritual Economics. Great book. If anybody hasn't read that, I hadn't read it prior to last month, and it talks about I think they call it the success syndrome, that, you know, it gets wired into us, right? That we need to be the straight A student and we need to win the award and we need to have the big office in order to be seen, right? And until we burn out, and how we actually can flip that. And yeah, I love that. Thanks, Laura.
I'm going to add that to my very large TBR list.
I hear you. Me too. Me too.
Anybody who's a reader knows TBR. Everybody who's not is like, what's that?
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Like Kayla and I said that all the time. Like we need to go on like a book vacation where for 7 days we just bring all the books and like we just sit on a beach and we just read. Like
I would like that to be a retreat. I will sign up for that. Just reading. Yep.
yeah, just reading. That's all we do. We just read
Yep.
all day. We talk about it at night, you know, talk about our
Yep.
books. Yeah, totally.
I'm actually a member of a silent book club here in Madison. So we get together like once or twice a month and everybody reads together separately for an hour or so. And then we get together for half an hour and we just talk about whatever book we're currently reading. And so everybody else kind of gets inspiration. People bring their leftover books if they want to have a book exchange. But yeah, it takes the pressure off of being in a book club, but yet you still get the book club experience. So it's kind of neat.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's a great idea. So I don't know what I would do without books. They're just the best. I know not everybody's a reader, but yeah.
Deb, are you a reader? I feel like we're leaving you out.
Who did you ask?
Deb.
Deb.
Me, Deb?
Yeah.
Yes, I love reading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Team
no.
reading.
Yeah, I love reading, and I have quite a list going as well. A lot of good books are recommended, you know, from all of the groups. So, yep, getting through them a little bit at a time, but yes, do enjoy it for sure.
Ladies,
Yeah.
I'm a reader too, and I already have a retreat already planned just for a reading weekend. And you're inspiring me to launch it.
Christy,
Launch it.
you holler when you've got some plans done.
Okay. I'm like sitting here like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're saying all this. Oh my goodness. Oh my
You're like,
goodness.
things are tingling.
Yeah.
So good because it's hard to find the time, you know. Amanda's in the chat saying send info when you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, in the day to day, like we do get pulled out into other things. So if like we remove ourselves right from our home and all we have to do is read, we can totally focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I fall into the same thing as Amanda, where it's like I feel like I haven't earned it enough, but then I have to remind myself like I have earned it, and I've earned great clients coming my way as much as I've earned being able to like leave some work undone for tomorrow, because if I give myself 2 hours of reading the night before, I'm gonna go into it with a much better, less burnout kind of attitude.
100%. Yeah. I just started the Abundance book. Has anybody read that?
I keep hearing about it, and it's on my bucket list, but I haven't actually like physically gotten hold of it.
Yeah, great. I'll keep you posted. I'm gonna do the 40-day abundance thing. I just started it, so I'll have to let you guys know how it goes.
Awesome.
I bought it years ago, and I'm actually reading it for a class that I'm in. I'm like, great, good. I'm finally gonna get to this. Awesome. Cool. This is so
I would
good.
say I have just a little cherry on top and kind of a message to all of us that was an awesome reminder for myself this going into this week. So my business is called the Bold Marketing Agency and Bold Events. So everything is about being bold, obviously. And we host what's called our Bold Fashion Show. This will be our second year that we do it. And we have volunteer models that are on it. Here, I can show myself too. And one of the questions that we asked in the form to these models was, what does it mean to be bold to you? And I obviously, you know, have my own definition. We all do, and we all kind of see it in our own unique ways, and anybody can look up the definition. But it was really cool to see over 20 people's responses of what it meant to them to be bold. So I won't share every single one, but I think it would be a nice cherry on topper for everyone to remember like why we're all here and why we all showed up to this thing literally called Bold Moves. And, you know, a few of them just were around, you know, being authentic, being yourself. Being bold is standing up for what you believe in, no matter what other people may think, and not being afraid to be yourself. empowering others, having fun, being confident, enjoying what you are doing. It shows humanity and the enjoyment of being confident in your skin, to do the hard thing, authentic to who you are in every sense of it, no regrets, shining your light, embracing your differences, embracing your creativity loudly, loving the parts of yourself you were conditioned to bury and be ashamed of. This is where your magic lies. Fearless, being different and standing out, showing up authentically regardless of who's around, standing in your power, just a lot of being around that. So that was a really nice message for me. It actually brought me to tears when I started reading them. But just a little reminder to all of us.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah, how
Yeah,
cool.
I have to remind myself all the time that fear is a normal thing, and like courage and being bold is going through it and not avoiding it.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. So much wisdom in this group, you guys. Powerful.
That's because we're all women in
Powerful.
the group and not men. Just kidding, but maybe not.
Yeah, yeah. Powerful group here for sure. Yes, all this powerful feminine energy. Christine's planning the reading retreat. Awesome. Love it. All right. Well, I'm so grateful for all of you and for this conversation. This was great. Really like lifted me up. I think it was Amanda Torres, Amanda Team Rise was saying like, oh, you served a lot because I've been also coaching in our communities this week as well. And I'm like, it does energize me though. Like just being in these conversations with you guys just gives me energy and it fills me up. So all the gratitude for you all. Feel free to reach out. Tell me how it's going with your bold moves. Let me know how you're doing. Kayla and I would love to hear. Or post in the group, whichever. If you guys are in Northeast Wisconsin, go to Amanda's fashion show. I wish we could be there. We're not able to make it this year, but I wish we could. Next
When is
year.
it?
Next year.
It is June 20th.
So good. Yeah, it's gonna be great. All right. Thanks, everyone. And go to Christine's reading retreat too.
I'll see you all there.
Yes, we'll all be there with our books.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.